I feel like this time period, this weather, my sleep schedule, my want to distract myself when I'm done with the things that I said that I was going to finish. Like, you know what I think I'm struggling with a little bit? What I realized in that sentence, even though I finished everything that I said that I wanted to do, I'm not sure. Perhaps I'm not finishing everything that I want to do. Like, perhaps there's some subconscious thing going on, or this subconscious desire or task that is unfulfilled. And I recognize that it's unfulfilled at a deep level, yet I don't understand. I understand it at a deep level, and it comes into my reality in the form of me getting upset or just a little frustrated when I am too distracted or overstimulated. Yeah. Overstimulation doesn't just have to do with being in environments that require you to pay a lot of attention, and that attention to all of those things kind of brings up anxiety or things of that sort. It's not just that kind of thing. It's the overstimulation that's brought by constant gratification. Yeah. Well, that's the moon. Constant gratification by thy phone. This phone will do it. This iPad will do it. I don't watch TV, so I mean, I don't watch TV for real. Yeah, let's not even lie. I just paused Supernatural to do this because I was like, okay, this is on my list still. I haven't done it for today. And yesterday I was like, I know exactly what I'm going to talk about. However, I have to look at it again just to make sure. But I'm pretty sure today's topic is becoming comfortable with being uncomfortable. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think I am. All I gotta do is look up YouTube prompts. Yeah, look at my forehead for a little bit, and then I'll be right back. Or is it discomfort with being uncomfortable? I don't know. No, those mean the same thing. Oh, what a silly gal. What a silly gal I am. Taking a chance, yeah. Give it. Discomfort in existing. So I was close. That's the title. That's going to be the title for today. Because I said it's YouTube prompts. So, duh. It's got to be the title. Give me a second. Or like a few seconds. Okay. So, obviously, I'm not that uncomfortable with doing that on screen. I mean, you know what I just did, right? We should all know what I just did. Love me a good mango. But I think this is something that comes up for me as of late, or what attracted me to the topic once more, because all of these prompts, which I've showed before, but all of these prompts came to me at Surge. I've only added to that, I feel, once or twice this year. And it wasn't a lot. I think the max of what I have in this note was done within 2 days. The max of prompts that I have in that note was done in 2 days. Because there were just so many things that I was thinking about. It was a period of time where I was focusing on transformation, and I was really honing into the thoughts that I was having and just the things that I wanted to improve on. But also, I just love talking to myself. So it was like a conversation that you might have with a friend, where you start somewhere and then you're bouncing here and then you're, oh my goodness, gotta go here. It was one of those, but with myself. But I'm proud that I can do that with myself, because I've gotten more comfortable with doing it with others. I feel less strained, less tense, less full of everything but breath. Like, like I can breathe and exhale easy without the stress related to the fact that I'm congested off of imprisoned expression. But how am I tying all of this to the discomfort in existing? I don't know. Okay, half of me is making this to make it. The unfortunate part about doing all of those prompts in 2 days is that everything that I was probably thinking about in relation to what I could possibly say about the discomfort in existing has left me, because that was last year in June or July. So I gotta think about it. I have to think about the differences between then and now. And honestly, the difference in between then and now was I don't deceive myself as much anymore. Nah. Of course, like any human, there's elements to me that I don't see. There's elements to me that I have to look to others to see. But when it comes to doing that, you have to do it willingly. Some people don't like constructive criticism or to be told about themselves. And for a long time, I didn't. And I think I didn't because I didn't know what to do with it. Because it was very likely that I was on the same side where, to an extent, I agreed, but I also didn't like hearing it from someone other than me. But I also felt gratified in hearing it from someone else other than me, because it allowed me to know that the way in which I perceive myself is also how I'm being perceived. But, in not deceiving myself anymore, and that means not lying to myself about how I truly feel about things, or not lying to myself about the thoughts that I have, the thought patterns that I have, the patterns in general that I have as a person, the patterns that I may go towards, aka the paths that I'll walk down, despite knowing that that path is not walkable. It's just the awareness of all of that was there once upon a time, and it was there without making do on the awareness. Like, I think third person perspective is a perspective that one should take of themselves. You have first, you have second, you have third. You have being, and then reflecting, and then you have this like in between thing where it's your being, but you're also observing the fact that you're being, but not in such a stifling way like you could do in that being then reflecting phase of things. Because after you've reflected so much, then it's like, okay, I gotta do this, I have to do that, I have to behave in this way, I have to behave like that. Like, I feel like when you're in that, you're probably tuned into the station of forcibly changing things, which I'm not going to necessarily say is a bad thing. See, to forcibly change things, I feel like that's a process that happens, that you understand how to go about it for yourself specifically. And it can either be slow or fast, but it's you recognizing something and recognizing maybe an action that you need to complete or an action that you need to practice, and then you automatically do that. But you do it in a way that's healthy for you, because you ultimately you're the only one that knows what's for you and what's not. And I avoid saying what's best for you because that's something that changes throughout the course of your life. What you define as best or good or pleasurable, attractive in life is going to shift throughout your whole life. So I'm not going to say that. But what did I say all of this to say for? Like, what did I say all of this for? Right. We're talking about last summer and what I had to do to get to the space where I am at now, to where I'm not uncomfortable. I do not feel discomfort simply with existing or my existence. Yeah. It's not to say that I don't get uncomfortable in my body sometimes, because I absolutely do. But I recognize it in a different way these days. Like, I like to just point out that this is what I'm feeling right now. Although I don't like labels, I'm going to give you a label right now. This is what you're representing right now, maybe on the emotional or thought wave scale. I like to define it. Once I define it, it kind of makes it easier to address, or the questions that arise from defining what it is makes it easier to go through that motion or create motion necessary to dispel whatever it is that's going on. There's so many things in life that I think people pay attention to that contributes to the discomfort that they have with existing or to their existence. And I think that I work better in conversations when it comes to this idea of discomfort. I just, I like, I would like to ask more people about what discomfort sounds like up here, what it sounds like when you're observing others, what it feels like in here. I would love to ask people questions about how they experience the discomfort that can come with existing. And sometimes it's projected onto you. Sometimes people are uncomfortable with your existence and oh my goodness. And the thing is, I wasn't, for the one individual that I know is gonna watch this, I wasn't even thinking about your situation. But I'm laughing because I've heard this be said to me before. And not because it's funny, but just because it's ironic that it's coming up when I didn't even make this. I didn't even intend to make this to kind of address that. But whatever. You probably don't even know what I'm talking about. People watching this that are not that person probably don't know what I'm talking about. But, and that's fine. I'm not going to explain. But sometimes it is projected onto you to be uncomfortable with your existence, with your own existence, even though you have to live with you every day. Sometimes it's projected onto you because others might not necessarily feel comfortable in your presence or with your existence, and it's probably something about you that causes them to see themselves in a way, or they may be reliving themselves by looking at you in some way, shape, or form. But that discomfort that you feel, that discomfort that is jumping at you through them, is not something that you should be taking on. It's not something that you consume. You don't accept that food of thought, that food of thinking, that way of being, in a way. Being uncomfortable with the fact that you're alive. And I don't say it, and I don't laugh in like a patronizing way when I laugh. It's just, it's ironic to some degree. It's ironic. But it's very human, though. I can and will say that. It's very human. In the same way that you may feel like you're on that spectrum where you are just very uncomfortable with your existence, you may be very, very, very comfortable and very loving of this experience, of this human experience. And throughout the day, you may be falling in between and on different ends of the spectrum. And that's interesting. We really are widening, riding away. A wave of thought, a wave of feeling, a wave of being. But that's all I got to say. I'm gonna continue eating this mango and continue my show. So bye me and bye people.